Hello, I'm Sherry Winston,
And I'm Jaya.
and we are the facilitators of the
Super Sex Makeover. It's a 3-day event, a retreat where we can teach you your full, ecstatic, erotic, sexual potential.
Yum. 3 whole juicy days together.
Yes.
And what we want to do now, besides encouraging you to go visit supersexmakeover.com and check that out, we want to talk about one of our favorite juicy topics.
Speaking of juice, female ejaculation. Yes.
So, first thing, we get questions about this all the time. Is it real?
How do I do it?
Is it real? That's the big first one, right? Is it real? So the answer is yes. It's real. It's not pee.
No.
And here's the one that I think is most important. It's a learnable skill. All women have the equipment, and every woman can learn to ejaculate if you want to.
Yep. If you want to. That's the important thing.
That's so
Don't
important.
feel pressured that you have to do it.
No.
I don't want any women out there to feel like this is something they have to do. But
Why
I
would you
encourage
want
you.
to?
Yeah.
Tell them, why would you want to learn?
Oh, why would you want to learn? Let's
Yeah.
see. It feels really good.
It's great.
I get really giddy. It's just a different kind of orgasm.
It's intense.
It feels like more of a release.
So emotional.
Yeah, it's emotional. It's like, like just relaxing to let go of that.
Oh, yeah.
It can be a turn on for some guys. So
Pretty much all guys, as far as I can tell. But maybe there's exceptions. I don't know.
The ejaculatory orgasms for me get bigger and bigger and bigger, like within a session. So
Yeah.
each one gets, I just have like better and bigger.
And it is the most intense, not just release, but almost this sacredness. There's a spiritual quality to it that it's a goddess experience.
Mm-hmm. So there's health benefits that go along with it as well.
Huge, yeah. Well, it prevents urinary tract infections.
Yes, this has been my experience. Is that I was diagnosed with something called interstitial cystitis, and then when I learned to ejaculate, I never had bladder infection symptoms ever again, and the interstitial cystitis, no more issues ever.
Yeah.
So it helps flush the urethral tube.
And not just that, I believe the fluid is actually antimicrobial. The thing about bacteria is they hold on. And so that's why you can't pee out a bladder infection. Mm-hmm. And so not only is there the fluid moving through the urethra that is going to help flush out any bacteria that are floating around, but the ones that have grabbed hold of the wall, it also seems to kill them. So I believe that the fluid must have antimicrobial properties in it, and that it's actually part of our immune system and there to protect us. Not just
All
feel
the
good.
more reason to experience an ejaculatory orgasm in a female body.
Exactly.
So, how do we do it, Sherry?
Well, I think we both do a lot of teaching. There's a lot of information, but the first thing I would say is learn about the equipment. Most women don't know about all of their parts because most books and doctors and scientists and sex teachers don't know about all the parts. Mm-hmm. So first you got to find out what's there, and this is for you two guys. You want to know what women have and understand where the fluid comes from. About that?
The G-spot is a place to start, and only after she's fully aroused. Watch our video on the G-spot. And so when she's fully aroused, you'll be able to feel the G-spot. The G-spot will feel more pleasurable, but I like to tell people to massage along the urethral sponge, that tube of erectile tissue that Sherry was describing in the G-spot
Which is another
video.
name for the G-spot.
Yes. And to not just rub across it, but to anchor in and pull on it. And then the big thing I advise women to do, because I know for me when I was learning, I would squeeze my pelvic floor muscles as I got aroused and pull up when I had an orgasm. What I had to do is train my body to let go and push out. And I literally took my muscles and did, Isa Herrera calls them reverse kegels, and I kind of like that. But I think it's the bottom of the kegel. It's like the piece of the kegel that people don't teach.
I call it the elevator. And it's as if the kegel, that people think of as a kegel, is where the elevator is going up, first floor, second floor. This is pushing your pelvic floor muscles. The elevator is the basement.
Yes.
Right, and that is that opening up underneath is what's going to enable the fluid to come out. Because if you hold up, the fluid will back up into the bladder.
And I actually was watching an interview with another sex expert, Laura Berman, and she was saying that all women always ejaculate. They just injaculate. And they don't even know that because they're not allowing the fluid to come out, it's always, the fluid is always there.
There'll be some, But the more stimulation to that urethral sponge, what people call the G-spot, the more engorgement there is, the more blood there is, the more fluid we can make. So without a lot of stimulation, I think we tend to make a smaller amount of fluid. And with stimulation, we can make big, giant, glorious gushes and keep gushing as long as we keep hydrating.
Yes. Yeah. Staying hydrated is important. Knowing the right touch techniques is important. Pushing out is important. If you're afraid of peeing, I highly recommend, talking to your partner, like, I'm afraid I'm going to pee. And if you're a guy, you can tell her, it's okay if you pee.
Don't forget puddle pads.
Having Liberator. I use the Liberator throw underneath me.
The kind you use for toddlers, for just rubberized flannel and a towel. I mean, there's lots of things you can do, but if you have something underneath, it frees your mind. Because you got to free your mind.
I won't ejaculate if I'm on the sheets. Because I'm going to make a mess and it's going to go all over the bed. I will only ejaculate if I have my pad down, if I'm
I try and have my pad down. Sometimes it isn't in the right spot at the right time, and then I just go, oh, what the heck, it's too good to not do that. But it's better if you have the pad, especially when you're learning. So those are just a few little female ejaculation tips. There's a lot more that people could learn.
Yes.
How could they learn that?
Well, they could learn it at our weekend. The supersexmakeover.com is the website. It's an amazing 3 days with Sherry and I, because ecstasy is your birthright.
So claim it now.
Go to the site. supersexmakeover.com today.